What's up? Welcome to the live stream. I'm Matt with Cincy. No, I got nothing for you. Bro. I didn't think you'd actually join, to be honest with you. I got nothing for you. Kristen wants to be on, but I got nothing for her. No, I'm not showing the kitty cam. We don't have a kitty cam. Sorry, folks. We got this cat, man. We have a cat that lives outside. It's brand new to us. We named it Zoe because, of course, the kids named it. And then we just been letting the cat inside, man. It's cold out. It's getting cold out. It's October, so we figure, you know what, cat, you can come in. And Kristen comes out. She's like, where's the cat? It goes outside, calls for it, comes running because it knows now. And sure enough, cat's just all around here, running around. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna be in Romans 12 tonight. And what's really cool about what I was reading, what's really cool about Romans 12 is if there was a chapter, what I found, if there was a chapter of the Bible that you asked me and said, hey, I need like wisdom and guidance on how to live. Like you pick one chapter of the Bible. Which Bible is it? I'm going with Romans 12. Y'all want to see the cat? There we go. Come here. Ooh. Oh, this is the cat. That's Zoe. Say hi, Zoe. Get out of here, Zoe. All right, that's the cat. So Zoe's running around the house. Zoe, get out of there. See, I gotta put the cat outside. Hold on a second. Sorry, folks. All right, let's get the cat outside. Bible, Romans 12. A living sacrifice, God. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and a holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Because I'm trying to read the Bible. You got the cat back there meowing. Because the privilege and authority God has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves, measuring yourselves by the faith God has given us. Just as our bodies have many parts and each part has a special function, so it is with Christ's body. We are many parts of one body and we all belong to each other. In his grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. Don't just pretend to love others, really love them. Hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope, be patient in trouble, and keep on praying. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them. Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who are weep. Live in harmony with each other. And don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people. And don't think you know it all. Never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see you are honorable. Do all you can to live in peace with everyone. Dear friends, never take revenge. Leave that to the righteous anger of God. For the scriptures say, I will take revenge. I will pay them back, says the Lord. Instead, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals of shame on their heads. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good. And that is Romans chapter 12. Now, like I said, man, if there was a single chapter, this entire thing, that was how to live life as a Jesus follower, as a God-fearing person, Romans 12 is it. Romans 12 is it. Let's go take a step back. I'm going to touch on a couple of things. First off, I want to say that it tells you to be a people's that is transformed by God's love and care, basically. It says, verse 2, don't copy the behavior and customs of the world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. I want to share this with y'all. So there's a book called The Titus 10 by J. Josh Smith. Excellent book. I get no commission, so I just recommend it, especially if you are a man. Like, I've been looking for like men's books on faith, and like a lot of them are like pretty traditional. You've read one, you've read them all. But this one was really good, and it basically takes 10 lessons from Titus. And they was talking about worship. And in it, the author, he gives like I think it's a quote by Tim Keller or John Piper or something like that. I think it was John Piper. But he says that he's talking about worship and how worship is the end. It's not, and then missions is the means to the end. So the whole purpose of mission is to go where God is not being worshipped. And they give, like, at the very end of the chapter, they give like a really simple definition of worship. And the definition that they give is that worship is the gladness of the peoples in God's greatness. And so we were talking about that yesterday during our men's ministry meeting in the morning. And like, it completely changed our perspective on how we see what worship is. Because I think for most people, like, if you ask them, like, hey, what was your favorite part about church? They would say, like, they might say, like, oh, it was the worship. I know I've said it before. Like, oh, it was the worship. And what I mean by is it's the music section, right? When the music's playing, like, oh, worship was so good. But the whole church service is worship. Like, the teaching is worship. The music portion is worship. The giving of offerings and tithes is worship. Communion is worship. Greeting one another is worship. So worship then becomes this like ethereal thing. Like, we know what worship is. Like, it's this reverence for God, or really, I mean, worship. You can worship anything, right? Like people will worship money, they'll worship clothes. But when I go back to worship, when we try to make it not so out there thinking, right? That's the whole premise of like why Cincy, why us as Kristen and Matt as a ministry exists, is that we want to try to make language so simple and easy to understand that you don't get lost in like what I would call Christianese. But anyways, worship is the gladness of the peoples in God's greatness. And so if we see that as worship, things begin to make more sense, right? Like if me giving my tithe and offering, if I get paid $2,000 and I tithe 10%, that's $200, right? That $200 is my worship. That 200 is I'm doing this because of the gladness that I have of God's greatness. If I'm serving another person, I'm serving them because I want them to come into that gladness of God's greatness. Like the discussion we had was like, when we have deacons and ushers, they're on their post at 10, church starts 10:45, so they want to be there at 10:30. We could see this as a duty. We can see this as a responsibility. We could see this as a job. We could see this as a religious like religious work. But when we change it to worship and understanding that it's bringing people into this gladness, personally, I think it changes the whole landscape to do things. And so then the teaching that we hear from pastors, from preachers, whoever it might be, from ministers, we want to receive the gladness that they prep for. And so I thought that was just a really cool definition of looking at worship as the gladness of the people of looking to God's greatness. I think that's just a really, really good definition. And so I want to share that little piece with you. And so remember to change the way we think when we learn to know God's will. And then, that's what I was going to say. Like, if God's will, which is good and please, is just to worship and take worship to the ends of the earth. And so however you do that, whether you physically go somewhere, whether you digitally go somewhere, like I'm able to stream this to all 4 of you that will watch, which I'm appreciative of. I love y'all. But it's a way to reach people that has not been done before. And so I don't have to buy a plane ticket, right? You can, your worship can be on TikTok, and your TikTok will reach, the same 250 people. That's where my TikTok keeps getting stuck at. It's like 250. But it's who knows where that 250 is. That 250 could be across the street. The 250 could be 10 miles away. It could be 1,000 miles away. But it's a way to reach people like never done before. So yeah. All right, let's go on. Verse 6. Let's talk about verse 6. This lays out, I think, a really cool thing. When you think of the gifts of God and the gifts of the Holy Spirit and things like that, people often think like prophecy, speaking in tongues, healing, miracles, yada yada. But he lays it out. He gives you one. He gives you prophecy. Speak out with as much faith as God given you. And then he goes, if your gift is serving others, serve them well. And if you are a teacher, teach well. And if your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. And if it is giving, give generously. And if God's giving you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. You have a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. And so that's 4 or 5 little simple things, like not the prophecy part, but the other stuff, right? Like, we think we want to have this big, great gift, but the gift of giving, give generously. The gift of encouraging, like, go and encourage people, like, walk in that purpose. And then he kind of caps it with verse 9. Don't just pretend to love others, but really love them. Hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good. And never be lazy. I highlighted this blue because this is what happens when you mean well, but you're young and you're sort of dumb. And I'm talking about myself. So whenever I read this verse, I think of this story. So way, way back, oh gosh, probably 2000, 2007, 2008, 2009, somewhere in that time frame. I was fresh out of college. So it would put me 22, 23, 24, somewhere in that age range. I might have been 22, 23. We had our youth group. I was one of the adult volunteers. We had our youth group, and we were with 4th through 6th graders. And so the task that we had was to go and rake someone's yard. I can't remember whose yard. It might have been the pastor's yard. But there were groups of us, and we were all over kind of the township, the area. And we were all raking leaves and doing different jobs to serve other people. And again, I'm with 4th through 6th graders, and they are whining and fussing. And they're like, I hate raking leaves. This is terrible. This is taking forever. It's taking forever. It sucks, blah, 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 blah. And just out of my mouth, I meant well. But what I said was, you know what, guys? Sometimes serving the Lord sucks. And what I meant was the task can be daunting. And yes, the task can suck. That's what I meant to say. But what came out was serving the Lord sucks. So I repent of that. My bad. But it's hard. It's work. Work is hard, and hard work is hard. And verse 11 says, "Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically." So again, whatever you do, if it's prophecy, if it's serving others, if it's teaching, if it's encouraging, if it's giving, if it's leading, if it's showing kindness, work hard at it and serve the Lord enthusiastically. And then the last kind of thing that I want to touch on, that wraps up Romans chapter 12. It says, "Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep." The holidays are coming up. We got Halloween tomorrow, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. And I just reflect, because this will be the first year without both of my parents, because my parents passed away last year. So through Christmas, I had my mom. Through Thanksgiving, I had my mom. Didn't have Dad for Thanksgiving last year. Didn't have him for Christmas last year. But now this year, won't have either of them. And so when I think back to those times, and when I think back to the funerals and all those things, like those were times to weep. And holidays can be hard, and the holidays can be difficult. And if you are a person listening to this and you are struggling in the holidays, you can leave a comment on this video. You can shoot us a DM on social media. And I can kick back some encouraging words, because I'll be right there along with you, going through this difficult time of the holidays and not having those that you love and you cherish and miss them every day and think about them all the time. Yeah. And when it is those times, you can't think on the good stuff and the memories. And so it's one of those things that it's like, you can be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. It's a balancing act, And so it's not something you don't want to just paint with, I don't know, the saying, like with rose-colored glasses or something, but really take that time to weep with people who are weeping. And, when it's time to be happy, you can be happy. But that's about it for Romans chapter 12. I think that was the last thing I wanted to say. So I'm Matt with Cincy. This has been the Monday night live stream. We've been gone. I planned on streaming last week, but last week we were in Phoenix, Arizona. It was enjoyable. I loved it. And I met some really great people. But that time zone difference, man, it kicked my butt. Monday night, I went to bed at 6 o'clock. It was 9 o'clock here, Eastern time. But 6 o'clock, I was out like a light, slept, woke up at 3 o'clock, which was 7 o'clock here. So here is the plan. Here's the plan of action. So we're wrapping up the stream. I think I'm going to try to stream every night this week. I don't want to say that. Maybe we'll just do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe and Saturday, Sunday. And that'll give us, this is Romans 12. Wednesday will give us 13, because we have till Romans 16, right? We go to Romans 16? Yeah. So that would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then so next Monday, I'm gonna say it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the schedule for this week. And then we will transition. Starting next Monday, we will start the Bible Department podcast. I wish I had the image up, but I don't. I doubt I can throw it up real quick because I'm not good like that. But we're gonna get back to the basics, back to why I started the stream and all those things. And let's see. Is this? Can we do this here? Whoop. That looks too big. That's too big. Hold on. There we go. There's the Bible Department podcast. Look at that beautiful face of mine. So yeah, so that'll be starting up next week. We're gonna be going through the Bible throughout, and we're gonna ask the big questions. And I think that's about it. So tune in with us. I don't want to delete that. Tune in with us next week on Monday, and we will see you then. All right, y'all. Peace out.